There's this moment every summer where you step outside, maybe you've got a cold drink in your hand, the sun is just starting to dip low, the air smells incredible, and you think to yourself, this is it, this is what I've been waiting for all year. And then about 90 seconds later, you're slapping your arm, scratching your ankle, and retreating back inside like you've just lost a battle you didn't even know you were fighting. Mosquitoes. They are the uninvited guests of every single summer gathering, every quiet evening on the porch, every backyard dinner you spent an hour preparing. And I don't know about you, but I got really tired of choosing between enjoying my yard and being eaten alive. Now here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that planting a few herbs and flowers is going to create some kind of magical invisible force field around your property. That's not how it works, and anyone who tells you that is overselling it. But what I can tell you is that certain plants produce compounds, oils, and fragrances that mosquitoes genuinely do not like. And when you use those plants strategically, when you put them in the right spots, combine them with other good practices like removing standing water and maybe using some fans on your patio, you can make a real noticeable difference. You're stacking the odds in your favor. And honestly, most of these plants are beautiful, useful, and worth growing even if mosquitoes didn't exist. So today I'm going to walk you through 20 plants that can help make your outdoor spaces less welcoming to mosquitoes this summer. We're going from number 20 all the way down to number 1, and I think some of these are going to surprise you. I've got tips on where to put them, how to grow them, and why they're worth your time even beyond the bug factor. Before we get into it, if you're someone who loves spending time outside and wants to make that experience better through gardening, this channel is for you. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. We've got a lot of good stuff coming this summer. Alright, let's get into it. Number 20 is eucalyptus. Now most people think of eucalyptus as this big Australian tree, and some species definitely are, but there are varieties you can grow in containers that do really well on patios and porches. The oil in eucalyptus leaves contains compounds like citronella and eucalyptol that mosquitoes find very unpleasant. You can crush a leaf between your fingers and immediately smell why. It's strong, clean, almost medicinal. Eucalyptus likes full sun and well-drained soil, and if you're in a cooler climate, just grow it in a pot and bring it inside before the first frost. It also makes a gorgeous addition to cut flower arrangements, so you're getting beauty and function in one plant. Number 19 is allium. These are the ornamental onions, those big round purple globes you see on tall stems in garden photos. They look almost like something from a Dr. Seuss book, and they're absolutely stunning in a border or scattered through a flower bed. Alliums contain sulfur compounds, which is essentially the same reason regular onions and garlic have that pungent smell. Mosquitoes and a lot of other insects don't care for it at all. Plant the bulbs in fall for a spring and early summer show. They want full sun and decent drainage, and once they're established, they're remarkably low maintenance. Pollinators absolutely love them too, so you're feeding the bees while discouraging the biters. Number 18 is pennyroyal. This is one of those old-school plants your grandmother might have known about. It's a member of the mint family, and it contains a compound called pulgone that has been used as an insect repellent for centuries. It grows low to the ground and spreads nicely as a ground cover, which makes it great for planting along walkways or between stepping stones where people brush against it and release that scent. One important note here though. Pennyroyal should not be ingested. It's toxic if consumed, so this is not one for the kitchen. Keep it ornamental and keep it away from pets and small children who might nibble on things. But as a garden plant for mosquito discouraging purposes, it's a classic for a reason. Number 17 is scented geranium. Not to be confused with the regular geraniums you see in window boxes everywhere, scented geraniums come in all sorts of fragrance varieties, and the one you want to look for specifically is the citronella scented geranium, sometimes sold as the mosquito plant or citrosum. Now I have to be honest with you. The marketing around this plant has been a little exaggerated over the years. Just having it sitting in a pot won't do much on its own. But when you brush against the leaves or crush them lightly, the released oils do contain citronella-like compounds. Place them in pots near seating areas where people will naturally brush past them. They like sun, they don't need a ton of water, and they're genuinely pretty with their ruffled leaves and delicate flowers. Number 16 is floss flower, also known as ageratum. This is a low-growing annual with fluffy little blue, purple, or white flower clusters that look almost like tiny pom-poms. What most people don't realize is that ageratum contains coumarin, a compound that mosquitoes find offensive and that's actually used in some commercial repellent products. These are wonderful front-of-border plants, they bloom from late spring all the way through frost, and they're incredibly easy to grow from transplants. Give them full to partial sun and consistent moisture, and they'll reward you all season long. Just don't rub this one on your skin, as coumarin can be a skin irritant for some people. Let the plant do its work just by being present. Number 15 is bee balm. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, something called bee balm repels insects? Here's the nuance. Bee balm attracts pollinators like bees and butterflies, which is wonderful, but the oils in its leaves contain compounds that mosquitoes specifically tend to avoid. It's in the mint family, which you'll notice is a recurring theme in this list. Bee balm is gorgeous, with shaggy red, pink, or purple flowers that bloom in midsummer, and it's a native plant in North America, so it's ecologically right at home in most gardens across the continent. You can crush the leaves and rub them on your skin as a mild natural repellent, and they also make a lovely herbal tea. Give it full sun, decent soil, and some room to spread, because spread it will. Number 14 is sage, specifically common garden sage, Salvia officinalis. Sage has a strong aromatic profile that comes from the essential oils in its leaves, and those oils include compounds like camphor and cineol that mosquitoes don't enjoy. Here's a great practical tip. If you're having a backyard fire or using a fire pit this summer, toss a few bundles of dried sage into the flames. The smoke carries those aromatic compounds into the air and creates a natural mosquito-discouraging zone around your gathering. Sage is also a fantastic culinary herb, it's perennial in most climates, and it's drought-tolerant once established. It's honestly one of the most useful plants you can grow, period. Number 13 is marigold. You probably expected to see this one on the list, and there's a good reason. Marigolds have been used by gardeners for generations as companion plants because they repel a wide variety of pests. The scent comes from compounds called thiophene, and while the research on marigolds specifically repelling mosquitoes is a bit more anecdotal than clinical, there is genuine science showing that these compounds are insecticidal. French marigolds tend to be the most potent. Plant them around vegetable beds, along walkways, and in containers on your deck. They love sun, they love heat, and they bloom non-stop from planting until frost with basically zero effort on your part. Plus they come in these warm sunset colors that just make everything around them look better. Number 12 is catmint. Not catnip, although they're closely related. Catmint, particularly Nepeta faucini, is a beautiful perennial with spikes of lavender blue flowers and aromatic silvery green foliage. A study from Iowa State University actually found that the essential oil in catnip, nepetalactone, was about 10 times more effective at repelling mosquitoes than DEET in a laboratory setting. Now catmint contains the same compound in lower concentrations, but it's a far better garden plant than catnip because it's neater, it blooms longer, and it doesn't attract every neighborhood cat to your yard. Plant it in full sun with good drainage, and it'll come back year after year, getting better each time. It's also incredibly drought-tolerant once established, which is a huge plus. Number 11 is peppermint. Strong, familiar, and incredibly easy to grow, peppermint produces a scent that mosquitoes clearly dislike. The menthol content is what does the heavy lifting here. You can crush leaves and rub them on your skin for mild short-term repellent effects, and just having the plant growing vigorously near outdoor spaces releases some of that scent into the air. Now here is the most important growing tip I will give you today. Grow mint in containers. I cannot stress this enough. Mint planted directly in the ground will take over your entire garden, your neighbor's garden, and probably a small portion of the next county over. It's wonderfully aggressive. So contain it, enjoy it, use it in your mojitos and your iced tea, and let it work double duty keeping the bugs at a slight distance. And hey, we're almost halfway through this list and there are some really good ones still coming. If you're finding this helpful, take a second to give this video a thumbs up. It genuinely helps us reach more gardeners who could use this information, and it lets us know that these longer, detailed videos are what you want to see more of. Alright, let's keep going. Number 10 is lemon thyme. This is one of my personal favorites on this list because it's so versatile. Lemon thyme is a low-growing, fragrant herb with tiny leaves that smell like citrus and thyme had a delicious baby. It contains citronella, which is one of the key compounds found in citronella oil. A study published in the Journal of the American Mosquito Control Association found that crushed lemon thyme leaves provided a decent level of mosquito repellency when applied to skin. In the garden, plant it along path edges, in rock gardens, or in containers on your patio table. It loves sun and well-drained soil, it's perennial in most zones, and you can use it in cooking. It's incredible with roasted chicken, grilled fish, or tossed with summer vegetables. Number 9 is lemongrass. This is probably the most well-known mosquito-repellent plant because it's the actual source of citronella oil. Real citronella comes from certain species of Cymbopogon, and lemongrass is one of them. The tall, graceful, arching blades can grow several feet high, making it a beautiful architectural plant for large containers or the back of a bed. It's a tropical grass, so if you're in zones 10 or 11, you can grow it as a perennial. Everyone else should treat it as an annual or bring it inside for winter. It needs full sun and regular water. And yes, you can use it in cooking. If you've ever had Thai soup or a good curry, you've probably already enjoyed lemongrass. Growing your own is incredibly satisfying. Number 8 is lantana. Lantana is a tough, sun-loving plant that blooms in clusters of bright multicolored flowers, oranges and yellows and pinks all mixed together on the same plant sometimes. It has a distinctive scent that many people find pleasant but that insects, including mosquitoes, tend to avoid. It thrives in hot, dry conditions where a lot of other plants struggle, making it perfect for that scorching south-facing patio or that strip of yard next to the driveway that you can never get anything to grow in. Lantana is perennial in warm climates and grown as an annual in cooler areas, and butterflies absolutely love it. A word of caution though, the berries are toxic if eaten, so be mindful if you have young children or curious pets. Number 7 is lemon balm. Another member of the mint family, lemon balm has a bright, lemony fragrance that's delightful to humans and disagreeable to mosquitoes. It contains citronella, which is one of the main compounds in citronella. Lemon balm is almost absurdly easy to grow. In fact, like its mint relatives, it can become a bit too enthusiastic if left unchecked, so containers are your friend here. The leaves make a wonderful calming tea, and you can rub them on your skin for a mild, pleasant-smelling natural repellent. It does well in sun or partial shade, it tolerates mediocre soil, and it's perennial in most areas. This is a great one for beginners because it's almost impossible to kill. Number 6 is the beautyberry, specifically American beautyberry, Calicarpa americana. This is a native shrub that produces these unbelievable clusters of bright magenta-purple berries in fall that look almost too vivid to be real. Research from the USDA actually found that compounds in beautyberry leaves, specifically calicarpanol, are effective at repelling mosquitoes, ticks, and fire ants. The leaves are the key here, not the berries. In the landscape, beautyberry works beautifully as a background shrub or in naturalized areas. It's native, it's low maintenance, it feeds birds in fall, and it's genuinely one of the most striking plants you can grow. Give it partial shade and let it do its thing. Number 5 is chrysanthemum. Mums aren't just for fall porch decorations. They contain a compound called pyrethrin, which is so effective at repelling and killing insects that it's been extracted and used in commercial insecticides for over a century. Growing actual chrysanthemum plants in your garden puts that compound to work passively. They won't eliminate mosquitoes on their own, but they contribute to an environment that's less hospitable to them and to many other pest insects as well. Plant them in borders, containers, or dedicated cutting gardens. They want full sun and well-drained soil, and many varieties will come back year after year in moderate climates. Number 4 is rosemary. Rosemary is one of those plants that earns its place in any garden 10 times over. It's beautiful, it's culinary, it's aromatic, and it contains oils including camphor, cineole, and borneol that mosquitoes find genuinely off-putting. Like sage, rosemary is excellent when thrown on a grill or into a fire pit. The aromatic smoke is wonderful for people and unpleasant for mosquitoes. Grow it in full sun and well-drained soil. In warm climates it becomes a big beautiful evergreen shrub. In colder areas, grow it in a pot and bring it in for winter. Either way, keep it near your outdoor cooking and dining areas where you'll benefit from both its mosquito-discouraging properties and its incredible flavor. Number 3 is basil. Here's one that might surprise some people, but basil, particularly varieties like lemon basil, cinnamon basil, and African blue basil, produces a strong aroma that mosquitoes genuinely don't like. What's interesting about basil is that unlike many plants on this list, it emits its fragrance without you even having to touch or crush the leaves. That volatile scent is just naturally present in the air around the plant, especially on warm days. This makes it one of the more passively effective options. Grow it in pots right on your patio table, next to your grill, or along your porch railing. Basil loves heat and full sun, needs regular water, and of course gives you an endless supply of one of the best culinary herbs on earth. Fresh basil from the garden with a sliced tomato and some mozzarella. Come on. That alone is worth growing it. Number 2 is citronella grass. I separated this from lemongrass because true citronella grass, Cymbopogon nardus, is the specific species most associated with commercial citronella products. It has a higher concentration of citronella oil than regular lemongrass, and it's been the subject of more research regarding mosquito repellency. It grows in large clumps, loves heat and humidity, and makes a dramatic statement in large containers flanking a doorway or patio entrance. It won't survive frost, so treat it as an annual in cold climates or bring it inside. The important thing to understand is that the living plant releases its oils continuously, especially when the leaves move in the breeze, creating a subtle but genuine zone of fragrance that mosquitoes prefer to avoid. Pair it with a few other plants from this list and you're building a really solid aromatic barrier. And number 1 is lavender. I put lavender at the top of this list not because it's the single most potent mosquito repellent plant in existence, but because it's the complete package. Lavender contains linalool and linylyl acetate, both of which are proven to repel mosquitoes in scientific studies. But beyond that, it's one of the most beautiful, fragrant, useful, and beloved plants in all of gardening. It's drought tolerant. It's perennial. It attracts pollinators. It smells absolutely heavenly to humans. You can dry it, cook with it, make sachets, infuse oils, or just walk past it every evening and feel a little bit happier. Plant it in full sun with excellent drainage, don't overwater it, and it will thrive for years. Line a walkway with it, plant it beneath windows, tuck it around your seating areas. Every time the breeze picks up or someone brushes against it, that gorgeous scent fills the air, and mosquitoes would rather be somewhere else. So let's bring this all together. 20 plants, each one bringing something a little different to the table. You've got herbs like basil, rosemary, sage, peppermint, and lemon thyme that you can cook with. You've got gorgeous flowering plants like lavender, bee balm, marigolds, and alliums that make your garden look incredible. You've got powerhouses like citronella grass and lemongrass that are packed with the very oils used in commercial repellent products. And you've got interesting picks like beautyberry and chrysanthemum that bring unexpected benefits. The key is not to rely on any one plant and expect miracles. Think of this as building layers. Put lavender along your walkway. Set pots of basil and rosemary on your dining table. Plant marigolds around your veggie beds. Let catmint fill a sunny border. Grow lemongrass in big containers flanking your patio. Toss sage and rosemary on the fire pit when you're hanging out in the evening. Each layer adds to the overall effect, and when you combine that with eliminating standing water, using fans for air circulation on your porch, and wearing light-colored clothing during peak mosquito hours, you've got a genuinely comprehensive approach. And honestly, even if mosquitoes weren't part of the equation, every single plant on this list would be worth growing for other reasons. That's what I love about this approach. You're not just fighting bugs. You're building a more beautiful, more fragrant, more productive, more enjoyable garden. And you're doing it with plants that work with nature instead of against it. I hope this list gave you some ideas and maybe introduced you to a plant or two you hadn't considered before. If it did, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to House of Harvests and share this video with someone who's already dreading mosquito season. We're all in this together, and the more people gardening with intention, the better all of our summers are going to be. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 20 plants you're going to try first this year. I read every single comment and I love hearing what you're growing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening!